Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode. Um, Today's isn't really sweepstakes tip related per se, um, but let's talk about taxes, right? Mm, it's kind of a guarantee in life, death and taxes, right? But on your giveaway winnings, anything above $600 is supposed to be taxed. I've been in a situation a couple of times where prizes I've won are $1,000. That that Pimp My Ride situation I talked about on the first episode, I think I talked about it, was valued at like $10,000 or something like that. But when they finally reported it, it ended up being at $5,000. And thankfully, um, I was still paying off school and stuff like that. So I ended up getting a refund that kind of set me up for some success when it came to the tax situation on that income, because it is considered income, right? Um, but yeah, typically at the start of the new year, whatever company you want a prize from will send you. I forgot what the form is. W2, not W2G, because that's gaming. But they send you a form. 1040. I don't know. I don't remember the name of the form, but they send you a form that declares the value of the prize, and you would do that or add that to your taxes as income, right? Now, I haven't had a situation where values weren't just like given a full blown cash value as far as like, a check or like a TV or something like that. Cars are a little different because you would base that value on the fair market value. So I think there can be things argued there, but I'm not 100% sure. Um, but yeah, to preface this whole episode, I'm not a tax professional. This is just what I do to get mentally prepared, um, and potentially financially prepared for if I do win a big prize, right? Um, don't take this advice as like, word of God. Like if we learned anything from like Ghostbusters, you're not a god, right? um, but yeah. So, um, yeah, you pay taxes in the state that the sponsor of the giveaway is located. So the sponsor would be like the company doing the giveaway, Oreo, Pepsi, whoever. The administrator of the giveaway is the company doing the drawing and all the legal side of it. Martin Kane usually, stuff like that. Um, they're just the administrator. But you pay the taxes for this where the sponsor is located, and you'll have to look in the rules for the giveaway to figure out who the sponsor is, where they're located. It's lined up in the rules. It literally says sponsor. You can hit Control F, search sponsor, and you'll see where the sponsor is. Um, and I do this in advance just to like one try to think about how much money I'm going to have on the side if I do win a giveaway. You can obviously do this after you win a giveaway and look up who the sponsor is and see how much money you're going to have to put aside and everything. Um, but I do it in advance because it gives me a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, a little bit of hope, right? Um, but yeah, typically what I'll do is, look at what the value of the prize is in the rules and figure out who the sponsor is. And then I'll go to this website, smartasset.com. At the top of the page, they have a little taxes button. Hit taxes and then income tax calculator. So what you'll see there is it'll give you a drop down where you choose single or married, depending on how you're going to file. I typically use single just in case because it gives you a little bit extra to give to the government, and that's a completely different discussion for people to have. Like the government's getting free loans from you when you get a refund, and if you don't owe taxes. And like, I don't care if they're getting a free loan from me. I'd just rather not owe and get hit with that like financial surprise. But I'm not, the most financially responsible, and that's part of the reason why I do this, just in case. But what I'll do is I'll add my salary, my wife's salary, right? This is the salaries that I know we get, or we're kind of a rough ballpark. Um, for example's sake, let's say I think we're going to make 200,000 next year. I you know I don't want to talk about salaries, but that's not close to what we make. But let's say we're going to make 200,000 next year, and we're I'm entering to win a prize then that ends up being $100,000. So you take that $300,000, put it into the little calculator, right? Like I said, I choose single usually, and then there's a location field. You can put the location zip code from where the sponsor is located. And usually because they have their address listed, it'll have their zip code. So you put their zip code in, and this website will calculate a marginal tax rate and an effective tax rate. And the effective tax rate is what you're looking for. It gives you the effective tax rate for if you're filing single or joint, and that effective tax rate includes the state taxes that you're going to get hit for. Let's say Boston, for example, because I looked up Boston earlier. Massachusetts has an effective tax rate of 4.82%. And when I looked up this example of $300,000, the effective tax rate was 32.25%, right? So what you'll do is take that percentage and take away the reason you add your salaries is because obviously taxes are based off of full, like all of your income, but you'll take away your salaries now and just go look at the $100,000 that we're entering to win. And you'll apply that 32% to that $100,000. And that's what you should expect to pay on that $100,000 winning. So you need 32 grand off to the side, right? And obviously if you're filing joint, you're going to get a little bit of a tax break. I think between the two things I searched, single and joint, for that $300,000 example, and I did this just so that it's $100,000 and it's easy to get you that percentage, right? And keep everybody on the same page. But for filing single, it was 32. For filing joint, it was like 26%. So you'll need 26,000. And the reason I choose single is because I'd rather, like I said earlier, I'd rather get a refund back than owe, and that kind of just helps. It's I mean we're looking at $100,000 cash winning. It's free money essentially. So we're I'm filing, or I'm doing the percentage based off of filing single. This whole process obviously isn't 100% guaranteed because this website gives you the information for the current tax season. So this is going to be for the 2023 year, filing in 2024. Next year, when you would have to pay taxes if you won something this year in 2024, it could be different, but this at least gives you a little bit of a guideline, some kind of range that can be followed and expected. From there, you have two different options for what I would recommend to do in this situation is have that money set aside. And this is if it's like $100,000 check, right? Like this it's kind of different if you win like a $75,000 car, because you don't have, or let's keep it around $100,000 car, because you don't have that 32,000, 26,000, whatever, just lying around. Most people don't, right? Um, that turns into like sell the car, pay off the taxes, and then pocket the rest of the money. But this situation is really if you're like getting a cash prize, right? For the example I'm giving, you put that money aside, have it ready for taxes next year because you know you're going to owe, right? Or what you can do is make payments to the IRS in advance through their website. They have a direct pay option. You can do, one big lump sum, 26 grand, 32 grand, whatever it is. And essentially know you're going to get a refund next year, right? Or at least be covered as far as the taxes go on this prize. Or have it to the side, right? And again, this is really if you win a cash prize or a check or direct deposit, whatever it is, a cash prize. If you win a house or a car, something physical like that, the situation gets tricky because most people don't have a savings to cover that kind of big tax burden. And that's one of the reasons actually why the people that win like an HGTV dream house don't take the house, right? I think in the 20 plus years they've been doing it, there was one person that took the house. Everyone else has taken the cash option. And there's a reason for that. I don't necessarily think it's because they don't want the house and they don't want a spot to essentially live or retire or, whatever they can do with that house. But it's the financial burden of it, the taxes of it, right? If you're getting, and those houses are always like a $2 million value, $1 million value. So like realistically, and I think if I remember right, they're out of Kentucky, maybe Tennessee. There's like a 4% tax rate. But regardless, you're paying the taxes for that state on a $1 million prize, and you figure you're looking at an effective tax rate probably of 40%. So on a $1 million prize, 40%, you're looking at $400,000 to be able to claim this house as a prize, right? I don't know about you, but I don't got $400,000 just laying around to kind of accept that. Or if it's a $2 million prize and it's at 40%, I don't have $800,000 laying around to pay taxes on that house. So that's why a lot of people take the cash prize, and the cash prize is always like anywhere from $200,000 to $500,000. But it's a lot easier to handle because since they're giving you that cash, that $500,000, if it's at 40%, you can pay that, $200,000 out of the cash winnings that they give you. But yeah, I know there's a lot of numbers, and it may have been hard to follow along with that, but it's really just be prepared, something as small as like a 10,000, and I say small relative to these big prizes that we see. Something as small as like a $10,000 prize could essentially get you at like a 20% effective tax rate. And if you spend that $10,000 not being prepared to pay $2,000 in taxes when you file your taxes next year, you might owe, or depending on your situation, if you're getting refunds year after year, and everybody's tax situation is different, but like let's say you usually get about $1,000 in a refund for a year, and you win that 10,000, you spend that 10,000, and you're ready, you're doing your taxes, and you're like, okay, usually I get about $1,000 back. most people, normal, everyday people, will look at that and be like, I'm gonna get about $1,000 back on my taxes this year. Um, then you file your taxes, you do it yourself, TurboTax, H&R Block, whoever, and they're like, oh, you owe $1,000 because that 1,000 that you usually get back gets canceled out by the 2,000 you now owe, right? And I don't know about everybody else, but for me, I'd be like, what the heck is going on here? You know, not really, not really something I want to encounter. But yeah. If you're planning on doing giveaways and entering sweepstakes and stuff, and prizes are nice, obviously, and any kind of prize is nice. Um, I don't want anyone to get hit with those surprises, right? I wouldn't like it, and I've been kind of like letting you guys know, enter, do this, do that. But this is one of those things you kind of have to prepare for. I haven't been in a tax situation recently where I kind of wasn't ready for it, thankfully. I mean, thankfully, because I just haven't won anything that big, but you know, I look forward to winning something big and applying the tips I just gave you, right? And like I said, the biggest prize I won was probably that car makeover, and I got a little bit lucky that I was getting tax breaks for paying my student loans and stuff, because I know for sure if I didn't have that, I would have owed that year, and it would have been like a bit of a shock. Granted, you know, I wasn't like a full blown, full functioning adult at the time, but like, yeah, it would have caught me off guard a bit. And I think more than anything is just being prepared. Um, this is probably my longest episode now that I think about it, and it's about the worst part of entering giveaway. But thank you guys for listening. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate everybody that's been liking things on Instagram and the TikTok and showing the support, following me. I appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys do enter things, and I hope everybody starts winning things, and I hope this episode specifically helps you be prepared in case you do win something big, right? Yeah, more than anything, just good luck, keep entering, and I'll see you next time.